Alrighty then, here we go. Alright, I'm gonna do a quick video on not necessarily setting up Foundry with Twilight 2000, but getting players access and getting players set up real quick. Be a short video, maybe 15 minutes, half an hour, something like that. But basically, you got to jump into your world. You create the world, which I believe I've covered in a different video. I'm gonna pull it up in here. So this is what they're gonna see when you link the address, which I'll show you how to do here in a minute. Is this view, and they'll be able to pull down, and they'll see the players and whatever right in here. For whatever reason, I don't believe it's actually showing it, but there's a pull down and it says referee and cap regime right now, and that's it in there. I don't know why the pull down itself is not showing, but there's a pull down. You pick your player, you put your password, and you hit join game. So I put in referee. I gotta put in my referee password because I don't want anybody to get into the game. And then bam, you're in the game. Again, I don't know if I covered this before, but this simple calendar, that's an add-on, which is a really nice one. I like it because I like calendars. You can link it so that the timer counts down with the game. So like if you have a, something's happening in 24 hours, and every action the players do takes up 2 hours, you can have it increment and go bam, 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 bam. You can put notes in the different areas. There's a note there. Look, operation reset starts. That kind of stuff. And the world the calendar is configurable. So if you have your own customized world who only have 5 days a week or 10 days a week, and there's only 20 days in a month, there's 20 months in the year, and they're called this and that, you can change all of that. There's also predefined ones. So like if you're playing Warhammer, the Warhammer world's in there. So you have like Hex and Tog, Well and Tog, all that good stuff. It's built into there. It's really nice. I like it for just time management in a general sense, not specific. And then of course down here at the bottom, this is the Dice So Nice and Dice Tray stuff. So you can just click on here and make dice rolls, and bam, it's gonna roll some dice. But back to what we're gonna do here. We're gonna make we're going to add some players real quick. So what we do is you go to the far right tab here, the little gears. That's your game settings. And then you go to user management. It's going to pull you up to the intro area. And then once you're at the intro area, you can create an additional user. And let's say, so we're going to make him, and it's player 2. They count the referee as player 1. So that's why it defaulted to player 2. You can put a password if you want it for that player. And then you can select the level. Player, trusted player, assistant GM, game master. That's this permissions here. So if you notice player, trusted player, assistant GM, whatever. And so you can check the boxes on what you want in general to give. Do you want new players to not be able to whisper private messages to each other? You can go, oh, no, you can't do that. Whether or not they can use different things. And different access levels. You got an assistant GM who's behind the scenes doing it, or maybe he's a player that's going to help you, whatever. You could set those up. Again, you have those. You save it, whatever. Once you're done, you save and return. And it's going to pull in. And then you'll have access levels, basically. So if you come in here and you might say, hey, I want somebody to have limited access or observer access for this. You want all players to, or just a specific player to have access to the folders in here. Same for the character sheets. Player 2 has a character sheet. You can go, oh yeah, you know what? I want player 2 to have ownership access of his character sheet. And then he'll be able to see. Now, like, since I'm the game master, I see all of this. And then this, of course, there's the referee stuff, there's the player's manual. I've got all access to all of this. For example, I'm going to show you character creation. There's a folder for the archetypes. there's also an archetype rule set for like, hey, this is how you go about character creation. I don't use it, so I don't want my players to even be able to look at it. I guess I could for examples or whatever, but so that's what I do. So if I actually go here and look, if I hit log out and I come back here to player 2, when player 2 joins the game, this is what they see. Click on the character tab. See, there's nothing else. They can only see player 2. Oh, look, here's my character sheet. I can modify my character. My character sheet. All that good stuff like that. Okay. And then journal tab. Oh, I have the player's manual. He does have access to the player's manual. Character creation. Noticing character creation. No archetype. No archetype folder. No archetype choice. He can just pull up, oh, regular character creation rules. That's what these things mean. It's like coolness on fire. Oh, there's the rules for coolness on fire. And of course, I love Foundry because you can go, oh, keeping calm and comment. Suppression. Bam. Oh, so that's what suppression means. You can learn, pay attention, look at it, learn it. But you can click on develop your character. Oh, this is how I do learn and spend my XP and raise my coolness under fire. I can make another buddy later, whatever. But they have access to that. I preset this up, by the way. Normally when a player joins, they're going to get nothing because they do it by default so that as a game master you can decide how much of the player manual you allow your players to have access to. So for example, if you didn't want them to see any of this, you just don't set it and they don't know the rules. I've got it so they can look up whatever rules they want to do. Oh, they want to learn how to set up a home base. They want to learn about weapons and weapon features. There's a list of all the weapons and their stats. If they want to do that stuff, they can look that stuff up. Travel rules, all that good stuff like that. So they can be able to do that. But if you go to the other tabs, there's a whole lot of blank stuff now. Can they do set items? Okay, that's cool. They can search the sets and items and stuff. So that's pretty good. So, but yeah, so once you have the player set up and you put their passwords and their access levels and stuff like that, you can then send them a link to the game. If you're hosting through a company like ForgeVTT.com, or it's actually, I think it's Forge-VTT.com in case you're looking it up, or net. There's 2 or 3 other services online that'll host for a very nominal fee. You can host games and whatever through them to do whatever. The down here, invitation links, boom. Local network for if you're playing in your household on the LAN and you got your husband, wife, brother, sister, roommates, cousins, uncle, whatever. Or the internet. And if the internet's real easy, you can look at it. There's the address if you wanted to. That's where my game is located when it's up and running. You can just click in here and bam, it's automatically going to click that link. And then you send it to a player. They put that in a web browser and it's going to pull up that login screen for them. They don't need a copy of Foundry. It's just through a web browser. I only have tested this on Firefox, so any other web browser, you're on your own. If you have issues, you can ask me. I will try to figure it out with you, but I don't have anything else. I've never tested on anything else. But that's how they get the invitation link, and then that's when they come in and they get to see the other stuff. This is where you can edit your world and your information, your date and time that your game is played, do the description. Of course, it can be formatted HTML-wise. You manage your modules through here, which modules that you have that you're going to use for your game. There are certain ones that I use for certain games, and there are certain ones I don't. I use reverse initiative order because it is reversed here in this one from the default. But yeah, it's really simple. I mean, to get your guys set up to do it, They did add a new feature that I guess we'll cover since we've only done about 10 minutes. Hold on, sorry, my phone. All right. So under this one, when you create a player, I forgot to show you that one. The player 2 that was created here, you click on create actor, and then you just give it a name like, oh, okay, this is gonna be player 3. And then the types are gonna be non-player characters, player characters, vehicles, military units, or a travel party. So, and then you can put it in a folder. If you wanted to just preset a folder that, like, if you have player characters or groups or whatever. Sorry, my daughter's been sick and her friend's been wanting to come over, but she's at her mom's today, so. All right. And then you hit create new actor. Bam, there it is, player 3. And you see it's down here. And then you have to give them ownership, because if you don't configure the ownership, then the player won't actually, the player that's listed down here, bottom left, you see I have a player 2. They are not, oh, I just realized I can give them colors myself. Learn something new. And I can change their avatar. Oh, that's really cool. So I can change the actual player avatar. All right. Nice to know. But yeah, so you can go in here, configure ownership, and go, oh, this player 2 is going to be able to have ownership of player 3's character sheet as well. So in case like they're playing 2 different characters or something. I know games that are like that, where you might have multiple characters, but you might be, it's a backup character, so when player 2 dies, player 3 is ready to go, so he's gonna tweak that character sheet all the time. That's perfectly fine. But since we're only at about 12 minutes on this video, let's go ahead and do this real quick. Let's say I want to create a new team. So temporary team. Change it to a travel party. Create it. Here's a temporary team. So there's the party name. Of course, you can change that on the fly if you want. These are the travel actions that are available. And then notes if you wanted to write a note about the team or whatever. Now, with this, and I'm going to go into my SEAL team here. We're going to pull a couple of SEALs into the team. That way the team has some people in it. We could also technically put player 2 and player 3 on the team. Now we go to travel actions. There's other over here in this field. So you can actually manage that stuff. So you can be like, oh, okay. It's the afternoon. What are you guys going to do? Nighttime's coming. So you can be like, oh, you know what? Salvatore Lino is going to make camp. The commander is going to keep watch. Player 2 is going to go to bed early. The reason I put him in bed early is he has no stats. It's a brand new, empty character sheet, so he really doesn't have any stats to be testing anyway. So he goes to bed early. Johnson's going to go forage. Geis is going to go fishing. Actually, he's going to go hunting. And then Doc's going to go foraging. There you go. And the cool part about this is it's not just aesthetic. It's, hey, Salvatore Lina is making camp. Press the make camp button. Look at that. It's going to test the stats and that are required, which is in this case it should be intelligence and survival, I want to say. So that's what his D8. He makes the roll. Come over here. Oh, he fails. So he failed to make the camp, and he actually had one bad thing in there. So the camp, well, he doesn't fail to make the camp. I should rephrase that. He'll make the camp. It's just he didn't do well. So that means like maybe the dew pools up in a certain area, so people are not going to get comfortable sleep because their sleeping bag's going to be wet. Maybe the brush is a little too dry, so when he makes a campfire, he might light the camp on fire later on at night. Maybe it's in a bad spot so there's good visibility to it, so bad guys or people approaching might see the camp. But in this case, we could also push. You can see the push. So you go, I'm going to push the roll. So he re-rolls. He's going to keep the 1. I don't know why the animation re-rolls, but that one stays. So the 1 stays, but now he has a success. So he successfully does a camp, but that 1 is, that 1 die is, like a damage, basically. And it's based on whatever stat the test is on. So it's a strength or agility test. You physically hurt yourself. So if this would have been a strength or agility based making camp roll, then maybe he sprained his ankle, he lifted a log too much and pulled a muscle in his arm or whatever. But in this case, it is intelligence and survival to make camp. So it's stress damage. So I'll actually go to the character sheet for this guy. Salvatore Lina. Boom. So we open up his sheet. So there's his... See, that's what it was based on. Intelligence, survival. So he takes a stress hit. So we would mark it like that. When he takes 4 stress, then he's kind of in a little fetal position. He just can't function. He's got too much stress going on. And he could potentially get psychological damage from stressing out. He becomes paranoid all the time or something. In this case, it's just 1 little piece of stress damage. So he stressed himself out trying to make the camp. But that's only when you push. So had he chose not to push the original roll, he had a 1 and a 4. He could have just taken the failure and not stressed himself out. He could have just been like, good enough. Good enough for government work. Then we come over here to hunting. Or actually, we'll go to foraging first, because foraging is much easier. Foraging is also going to be survival based. And now if we go down to Tyrone Hart, we look, see he's got intelligence D, no recon, no survival, no tech. He really probably shouldn't have been, because he's the corpsman, he's the doc. He's got some stamina, range combat, and then it's all about medical aid and persuasion. He doesn't even have any stats that help him with foraging for food. So he just forages. He wasn't successful. He didn't find any. I don't think he found any food. He went to forage and didn't find anything. And then Geist is going to go fishing. Oh, same deal. No survival. So he goes fishing. Not bupkis for him as well. Angelo Johnson, who's went there hunting. Hunting's a little more complex. Basically, you got to find the prey first. So that's going to be a survival roll. And so he makes a roll. He is not successful, so he just scares it off. Had he been successful, he has to make an approaching the prey, which in this case is a recon roll. He would have to roll, and he goes, oh, he actually was successful. So this, he would have, had he found something, there's a chart that you would roll on just to see what it was he found. Like, is it a grouse, a rabbit, something bigger, like a fox maybe, and then deer. Whatever's native to your world. I think the default in the game, they say, is like a European, Eastern European type animals. But the find prey, had he had 2 successes, I think you roll twice on the chart, so then you can go, it's a rabbit and a deer. Which one do I want to track? Take a pick. That kind of thing. And then you have to actually make the kill roll, which is then range combat. So bang. Oh, he hits him. He strikes him. I had to look the rule back up if it's like just an instant, like you're successful, you kill it, or if it's actual like regular combat where you deal damage, and now if you don't kill it, he starts to run away or something. I haven't looked the specifics of that up. But that's the first day, and then you can go, oh, okay, now we reset. Now it's going to be nighttime. Now we're going to do, what are we going to do? We didn't bring any food back, so everybody's going to eat. Nobody has to cook because there's a role for cooking. So like if this guy's in here and he's got to cook, he's going to make a cooking roll. Actually, that would be this guy, CS2. Because CS is in the Navy's culinary specialist, so he's actually a cook. So this guy could go to sleep. The commander was out there too. Player 2 is just going to keep snoozing. Doc is going to go to bed, and Johnson's going to keep watch. So this guy, let's say he had to actually cook food. He could make the roll and be like, oh, no horrible failure. The food may or may not be poisoned. I don't think that it's... I don't know. I have to look that rule up too. I haven't looked up the travel actions that much. And then this one's easy, though, because it's just a recon roll. So it's like, oh, is he going to spot the people approaching the camp? That's also, oh, the hide camp. When you make camp, you can try to hide the camp, which ends up being it basically gives you a default success levels or not on whether or not, like, so if somebody's walking, do you get a bonus to them not noticing your camp, kind of thing. But that's this is new. This came about on the last update, I believe. So I really like it. I like this management thing. How much of the players have access to this, I don't know. Or if I have to give players access. Well, I bet you I have to give them access. Configure ownership. I bet you I do. But that would be good, because then the players can drag around there. Like, oh, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do this, and they can click on it to make the actual test. Actually, let me take a look real quick, and then we'll call it quits. Yeah, see, no access. So, oop, did not mean to minimize. All right, so we come back over here and we go temporary team, configure ownership. I want everybody to have ownership, so they can actually, I'll let them have at it on there. This way, they can go, oh, look, temp team. I don't know who these people are. Get them off my team. You come over here and be like, all right, I'm going to sleep. This guy can make the camp. This guy can help you make the camp. Oh, it doesn't let you make the roll if you don't own the character. That's cool. All right, so you don't have enough permission to view the sheet of this character. So you do need to have access to the character sheet to be able to make the rolls. Ah, that's very, very cool. Make camp. 2 modifiers because somebody's helping you make camp. Oh, failure. But that's pretty nifty. I like that. All right, but that's it. Any questions? Feel free to post them up. Send them to me, find my Discord, all that good stuff. And or if there's a video you want to see. Speaking of which, the next video I want to do is probably going to be like basic training. Be about the rules for encumbrance, movement, combat. Kind of go over it, maybe do a sample. I do have, let's go back to that real quick. I do have an obstacle course, which is this right here. Boom. There's a little obstacle course kind of set up so that players can be like, oh yeah, you're going to start over here on the footprints and make your mobility roll. Oh, you can go this far. But if you make your mobility roll, you might go this far. If you really, really make your mobility far, maybe you go this far. You know, give that, I'm going to, down here, I may set up targets so people can get an example of this is how far this is short range for a pistol, medium range for a pistol, etc., which I know, like, if it's a sniper rifle, you can be on this end way over here, and off the board here is short range for a sniper rifle. But then you can do hand-to-hand combat and other stuff will be dealt with in here, but maybe I'll do a video on that just so people can get an idea of how combat works or functions in Twilight 2004th edition. But again, thanks for watching, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions or if there's any specific video about Twilight or Foundry. that you want to watch. I also have Warhammer 2, which that one's really in depth, and I really want to do a series on it. But if I do the Warhammer stuff, I may do that in a structured format, like pre-plan ahead. This is the section I want to cover in an hour or 2 hour long video, and then every X day of the week or every 2 weeks we'll do a video on the Warhammer rules. It's just Warhammer's one of my favorite games all time ever. So having it in Foundry is amazing. But all right, you guys take it easy. Have a good one.